Harlan Ford had scouted the perfect location for his hunting camp. Ford was a retired air traffic controller who would fly a twin-engine plane around to find the ideal camping spot. The location, in St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana, was excellent, but very secluded, located in Honey Island Swamp. Though he did have a plane, the only way to get to the spot was by water. He would have to take his boat halfway and then walk the rest of the way to make camp. Ford didn't take this particular trip by himself. He brought along a friend too. One day of their excursion, Ford and his friend were moving their supplies into camp when something caught their attention. Looking out, they saw what appeared to be an enormous animal, on all fours, eating another animal. Spooked, the men drew their weapons and made their way to the creature, but it quickly noticed them and stood up. Dumbfounded, the two men watched as the creature took off on two legs, leaving in its wake a horrible stench. Ford described the creature as being over 7 feet tall with grayish hair and yellow eyes. This was one of the first documented sightings of the Honey Island Swamp Monster. Believe it or not, the story of Ford and the Honey Island Swamp Monster does not end there. Similar to the story of the Mothman, a winged cryptid sighted in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where the witnesses saw the creature the first time in the forest and went back to look for it again, Ford did make his way back to the swamp to search for the beast. A few years after his initial encounter, Ford was traversing a trail near a watering hole when he came across the scene of an attack. A boar had recently been killed and its throat had been completely torn out. A brutal scene. Next to the carcass was a series of footprints in the mud. Intrigued, Ford bent down to take a closer look. The footprints were not like any he had ever seen before. They appeared to belong to a creature with 3 toes with webbing. We recently covered the story of the Boggy Creek Monster from Fouke, Arkansas. If you've already watched that video, you will remember that the witnesses found footprints with 3 toes. Their monster also lived in a swamp. Could it be that this is some sort of subspecies of Bigfoot, with 3 toes, that prefers the swamps and bayous of the South? For his part, Ford made sure to document the evidence. He used liquid plaster to get castings of the footprints. He then brought them back to town with him. Stories of a creature haunting the swamp are not new. Native American tribes spoke of a swamp monster, Letishi, that was human-like in appearance, ate fish, and made its home in the murky waters. Another early story tells of a traveling circus that apparently had some sort of accident resulting in some of its chimpanzees going missing. Some believe that these chimpanzees could have adapted to the environment, becoming the Honey Island Swamp Monster. Ford actually continued to hunt for the beast for years. He would regularly go back to the swamp with his camera, hoping to capture the creature on film. He even passed his fascination with the monster on to his family. His granddaughter now writes about sightings and shares her grandfather's story. She even uncovered evidence that Ford had kept hidden. His granddaughter found in his belongings a roll of film. It was labeled Honey Island Swamp Monster. On the video, there appeared to be a bipedal creature walking in the woods. The film was not high quality though, it was the 70s, 80s. It is thought that perhaps Ford did not share this video as he did not want people to mistake a hunter or explorer for the monster and potentially hurt someone. On whether or not a creature could live in the area, his granddaughter is quoted as saying, "Wildlife and fisheries protect large sections of swamp, and there are parts of the swamp that man has not set foot on." That said, not all locals believe in the creature. Some think that it might just be an alligator. While the footprints may look similar to an alligator in its general shape and pointed toes, alligators do not have just 3 toes. The creature could be a hoax, but if so, why would Ford keep going out to look for the monster? That seems like a lot of time to waste out in a secluded swamp. Until concrete evidence of the Honey Island Swamp Monster comes to light, we cannot know for sure. So perhaps keep one eye open when out in the swamps of Louisiana. Thank you for listening to tonight's story. Tune back in next week as we dive into the world of cryptids, extraterrestrials, and the great unknown. Good night.